Welcome back to another vlog. This is My Hero Academia, Season 1, Episodes 1 and 2. This is a commission vlog for Benny Blue. Thanks for backing, Benny. So, I've been hearing for a couple years now that My Hero Academia is good, that I should watch it, that it's relevant to my interests. I was vaguely aware that it was something to do with a school for superheroes. Didn't really get into that in these first two episodes, which were basically just establishing our main character, Izuku. But so far, not bad. It's generic shonen, definitely. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Two of my favorite anime ever are shonen. If you go by top 5. If you go by top 10, there's a couple more than that. So, I ragged on shonen a lot when talking about, Seven Deadly Sins, but that's because it was just jumping headfirst into cliché without anything original or redeeming or anything. All the jokes were unfunny, which My Hero Academia still has the same problem, but at least they're not actively repulsive jokes. Except that one that Mountain Lady tells, or Mount Lady. But other than that, and because, most importantly, the main character is not this hateful shitbag like he is in Seven Deadly Sins. I'm sorry, but it's true. The main character of that show is an asshole. The main character of this, on the other hand, just really, really, really wants to be a superhero. And he wants to help people. Which is admirable. The two halves are both pretty generic origin story. I keep saying generic. What I mean by that, I think a better term would be predictable. Everything happening so far is exactly what you would expect to happen from this kind of story. The boy has no powers in a world where most people have powers. He's an outcast. He's looked down upon. He's picked on. But he throws himself into the fray because he wants to be a hero and because his instinct is to run toward danger and help. And those are the essential traits to be a hero, as All Might recognizes and tells him that that's a bigger deal than the powers. Because, of course, lots of people in this world have powers. His mother has low-level telekinesis. His dad has fire breath. Those could be used for superheroics or supervillainy. There are superheroes and supervillains that have powers like that. Unlikely to be, a cosmic scale saver of worlds, but there's a lot of different power levels in superheroics. But they're not, as near as we can tell. They're, from what we see so far, at least with his mom, just regular people living their lives who happen to have a couple of abilities that are unusual in the real world. The other thing, but no, that doesn't, the powers aren't what define the hero. Because regular people have powers, supervillains have powers. It's the choice to be heroic. Which, duh. That's every superhero comic and cartoon ever, basically. except the really grimdark ones where there isn't much difference between heroes and villains. So that whole thing is very predictable. There are really only, when you introduce a kid like that who doesn't have powers and etc., 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 there are really only a few ways that can go in this kind of story. He turns out to have an incredible power that just manifested late or only appears under very specific circumstances that had previously not been met. He doesn't have any powers, but his encyclopedic knowledge of heroes and villains, coupled with a knack for tactics, makes him ideal as a team leader. You know, kind of like Robin's role in the Teen Titans cartoon. That's a big part of his role. Less the encyclopedic knowledge, but just he's the leader because he's the best at organizing the others and figuring out what to do. Or, you know, the power of heart and courage. And of the three, the last one is the one that's most compatible with your standard themes of generic shonen. So that's the one that happens. Because, of course, most shonen heroes are all heart and courage and not a ton of thinking things through. So it's predictable, but that doesn't make it bad. What makes it... I mean, it's not bad. It's got some clever character concepts and designs. It's well done enough. Like, it's all familiar stuff, but well done enough that, yeah, okay, I'm interested in seeing how this develops. Obviously, Izuku's, the other guy, the class bully, obviously is the rival, which means he will probably eventually become the friend. Which is... okay. But we know that's going to happen, so the question is how. You know, what other characters are they going to meet? Obviously, he's going to try to get into that school. Obviously, one way or another he will, either through actually passing the exam, or some other shenanigans that get him into the school. Because that's how this kind of story goes. But he's likable enough that I am willing to see how that plays out, you know? Not because I expect to see something that I've never seen before, but because the character is entertaining enough and the character designs are interesting enough that I am enjoying it enough. Nothing has happened to make me go, wow. So if I were watching this on my own, I would give it 1, maybe 2 more episodes to wow me. And then, if it didn't, I probably would only watch it if I were really bored and had time to kill, which is not something I generally have. But failing that, seeing as I'm being commissioned to watch it, I am willing to continue with it and see where it goes. I probably wouldn't, unless the next episode or 2 contains something that makes me go, wow, probably wouldn't have done that on my own, but I've watched a lot of things for this channel that I would not necessarily have watched on my own, and some of them have turned out to be really good. So, we'll see. And, you know, some things do take a while to get into. Most of the time, my attitude to those things is I no longer have the free time to watch 10, 15, 30 episodes I don't like to get to ones that I do. I am just going to watch something that I like from the start or near the start. Because there's more good stuff than I can watch anyway. But if I'm watching stuff for the channel, that's a slightly different story, because time for that is built into my schedule already. But so far, no, this is pretty decent. Nothing that made me go wow, nothing that I had that sparked any profound insights, but it's early days yet. I think that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Patreon for early access to vlogs, let's plays, essays, and more. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!